Hi, guys. Welcome to our podcast, A Court of Heaven and Hell. I'm Lauren, aka Heaven,
And I'm Ellie. I'm also known as Hel.
and we are a book podcast that focuses on different romantasy series and novels. This is a special bonus episode where we will be discussing the popular romantasy book that is taking over book talk. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. In this episode, we will do a small spoiler free portion before we fully dive in. At that point, I will give another spoiler warning, letting you know that the spoilers are coming. But for now, just be aware that at a point in this episode, it will contain spoilers for Powerless. And also, please see our show notes for content warnings. We are an explicit podcast, so we really want you to be aware of that.
Powerless currently has just the first book out. There is a novella that is being released April 11th, which is super soon. And then the second book is coming out July 2nd, 2024. Finally, please take some time to rate and review us. Or if you're watching this video on YouTube, please like and subscribe and make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments. With that being said, let's get into Powerless.
I'm so excited.
This is spoiler free as of right now. Keep that in mind. So, we're not going to get into the heavy plot, but we will be talking a little bit about the story. So, a little synopsis about Powerless. This book is a romantasy, which is our favorite genre. It is set in a world where there are the elites who have magic, and then there are the ordinaries who don't have magic. And our female main protagonist, she's an ordinary, but she ends up doing something that ends her up in these trials. And that's where I'm going to leave you with that. I'm not going to say too much about what else happens, but the author of this book has actually said that she took a lot of inspiration from The Red Queen and Hunger Games. So if those books are your jam, you might like this one.
Yeah, it's really cute. We loved it. Rating, I gave it a 4.5.
Okay, for my rating of Powerless, I gave it a 4.75. I really enjoyed it. And I will say on Storygraph, which is an app that we use for reading, the average rating on it was 4.2. So both of us were still in the same star for most of the ratings.
Yeah, I did really love it. It did feel familiar to me in a lot of ways. I think that's maybe why I didn't give it a full 5 stars. Also, just I feel like it's tough. It's the first book of a series, so there's definitely going to be a lot to grow on from here. I'm very interested in seeing where it goes. It has a lot of the things that I love from a book. You've got a morally gray male main character. You definitely got a great magic system, very interesting, a lot of good world building. There is some drama, which we love, the tension between the two characters, the two main characters. Chef's kiss, loved it. But yeah, I don't know. I think 4.5 is a very solid rating. So I clearly did love the book. There definitely isn't a lot of negative things for me to say about it, but I don't know if it was perfect.
But no book's perfect. But I didn't give it a 5 star, and I give out 5 stars pretty easily. But
Mhm.
for this book being the author's debut is really exciting for me because she read this book, I think, when she was literally 18, and now I believe she's 20 or 21. And I'm like, damn, this girl is going to have such a good career with writing. I'm really excited to see where the story goes. And I'm also excited to see if she ends up writing any other series because I will read them. She knows what tropes I like to read. All the tropes I love is in this book. There's, like you said, there's enemies to lovers. It's a love triangle, which I know you don't typically like too much, but I think I actually might like a love triangle after this book. The banter is crazy. The banter had me like kicking my fucking feet, giggling, and I'm like, by the way, this book is not spicy. Okay, if you're looking for a spicy book, this is not it. Okay, but
Yeah.
the banter is so fucking good. There's so many moments that I'm just like, I would
Yeah.
recommend it if you are looking for a new romantasy book to get into. Again, it's unfinished, but I enjoyed it. I It's probably the book I've enjoyed the most out of the last few I've read.
Yeah, it was really good. It was super cute. Highly recommend if you are into romantasy at all, at least give it a shot. I would say it is YA, but almost teetering on new adult. It doesn't feel YA in the sense of like the writing or the topic, I
Mhm.
should say, which I have read books that feel YA, so it doesn't feel like it in that way. But I will say the characters are a little bit on the younger side, which maybe affected my reading just a little bit, even though I don't know about y'all, but I will literally in my mind be like, no, they're older because I like the story so much. On paper, the characters are a little bit on the younger side. And like she said, there's not a lot of spice or anything like that. It's definitely a romantasy that is about the non-spicy side of things, which is fine. I love reading books like that. As much as I love reading spicy books, I like the opposite too, as long as it's a good story. So definitely highly recommend if you're thinking about checking it out and you haven't picked it up yet, do it. Add it to your collection. I don't think you'll regret it. There's 2 more books like coming out literally this year, and it's a trilogy, so another book to look forward to after that. I'm sure if she wrote one novella based off of it, it's possible that there will be other novellas, and it's a good world. Like I said, the magic system is pretty cool, and I'm definitely excited to see where it goes. So, yes, highly suggest picking it up, giving it a chance, and letting us know what you think about it over on our social media or in the comments here if you do decide to read it. With that being said, I want to go ahead now and let you guys know that was the end of our spoiler free portion. We hope you take our recommendation. And if you're interested in this type of book at all, you go pick it up. But going forward from here, we will be including spoilers from events that do take place in this book. So if you have not already read Powerless, this is your sign to exit and come back and join us in the next episode. Okay? Bye. All right. Now to get to the juicy woosy.
Yes.
So, what did you like about this book specifically, or love, rather?
Okay. My favorite thing about this book is probably what kept me intrigued, I will say, is really just the banter between the two main characters, Peyton and Kai. I love their banter. I thought the world building was pretty good. I think in the next books, she will be hopefully expanding a little bit on the world since we only have one little area of the world so far. I am curious to know more about the other parts of the world of like where the other ordinaries went to, who like were
Hmm.
able to escape. I want to know a little bit more about that, but I'm thinking that we will get it. It is still the first book, but
Yeah.
yeah, the banter I really liked. It kept me just so sucked into the story. The banter was everything that I love about
Hmm.
books. It's like she took everything from book talk and was like, okay, these are what these people want to read about. They want the whole like he lifts my chin up. He wants the whole who did this to you multiple times. Oh my god, I was freaking out. I love it. Peyton is super sassy. She like talks back. I love that. She's a very strong female main character. She's literally lying the whole time that she has this fucking power and she doesn't, but she's able to get away with it because she's
Hmm.
such a bad bitch. I just love her. I love it. I really like the story. I loved Adina. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. The characters are definitely what makes this story for me. I will say that I did also enjoy the world and the magic system. I think that it's a strong world base, but the characters are what makes this story for me. Adina, rest in peace. I'm actually excited to get her novella and just see what was going on. To find out that she was also having a romance at the same time that all this other stuff was happening is very interesting to me, and I want to know more about it. I absolutely love Kai. Like, I cannot. He is a privileged bad boy, but he's also a major softie, and he's dealing with his own drama that his douchebag father literally imposed on him. And it's almost in complete contrast to Peyton, who is this sassy but sweet, literally struggling criminal who has experienced a lot of hardship in her life, like losing her father at a young age, and she's able to hide who she is. I know that you had never seen the show Psych, but anybody who's watched the show, it's a literally like her ability is basically Psych. It's so funny, and she's able to just wield that and get away for the most part with being involved in this world. I loved the relationship that she had with Adina, and I'll talk about that. That was a little bit of a knock for me that whole like little last scene with them. I do wish that things had gone a little bit differently, but only because to me it didn't line up with what we had known about the character so far. But I will touch on that when we get there. And then like you said, I'm not usually a huge fan of triangles. I do not really care for love triangles, like the whole will they, won't they, who's she gonna pick? I don't know. I read City of Bones, wasn't really a fan of it there. Twilight, not a big fan of it there. The problem with love triangles is they're hardly ever done well. They're just not, in my personal opinion. And you always end up liking one person more. And I don't really have time for that. I'm also not here for the cheating trope. I just don't like it. I want my characters that are in love to be fucking in love. I want them to be all over each other. I do not like that whole, oh, this third person might come in here and wreck shit. No, fuck that person. I hope that person gets the fuck out of here. We cover a lot of ACOTAR on our podcast. So you guys know that that one love triangle is also another one that I'm okay with, but only because we haven't really gotten into it yet. Once they actually start getting into the like triangle portion, I'm a little bit worried about how I'm going to feel about it. But anyways, back to this. Not usually a huge fan, but I did like Kit. I did. I genuinely like I wanted her to be with Kai, and in my mind the reason that I was okay with it was because in my mind Kit didn't stand a fucking chance. Like he wasn't really playing the game. He was just there, but I liked him. I don't know. I'm happy that I got to see that good side of him before the ending because now I feel like in the next book, I'm not going to like him at all. And I already, towards the end, as much as I liked him in the beginning and felt like he was listening to Peyton and wanting to take her opinion into consideration, I felt like as I was going on, there was some things where I was like, it's the same shit. I don't have a lot of respect for older siblings that let their younger siblings like endure hardships and don't fucking speak up about it. So, yeah.
Moving on to what we didn't like about the book. So I will say I have seen some things online of people saying that they didn't really like the book because they already read Red Queen and they said it was too similar for them and it took a lot of the same themes from Hunger Games. I actually have not read Hunger Games. I didn't ever get into it. I watched like the first movie and there's a certain actor on there that I just, for some reason, I just cannot watch the stuff that they're in. It, for some reason, I don't know what it is. So I didn't really like it. So I never read the books. I also never read Red Queen. So that probably made me like this book a little bit more, maybe. But I've seen some people just say that they didn't really enjoy it too much because it was just a little bit too similar for them. But I didn't have that experience, so I really liked it.
So for me, like I said, overall liked it. I will say that I have read The Hunger Games. I've read all three books. I never read the prequel, but I read all three series. I read them a couple times. I actually don't really see the similarities here. I never read The Red Queen, so I can't comment on that. But to me, this is not like The Hunger Games just because there is a competition where they have to fight and their lives are on the line. I think that every single book that has something like that is like The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is a very serious, dark fucking story. And it, to me, like this doesn't remind me of that. Not everybody has to die at the end of this tournament. They don't have to die in order to win. Hunger Games is literally like last man standing. You have to kill and they don't have a choice. These people also get voted in, but it's different to me. So I don't see that comparison here. I have heard a lot of people say it's very similar to the Red Queen. And like I said, I haven't read that, so I can't speak on it. So I won't. But the one thing that I really didn't care for, it just didn't make sense to me. And this is what I meant about Peyton all of a sudden switching up. I didn't feel like it was in line with her character from what we had already known. But she literally let Blair live when she had her dead to rights. I'm not saying that Peyton was this murderer, but this bitch has tried to kill her multiple times throughout the competition. She literally threatened her, telling her, you're gonna regret this. You should kill me. And Peyton just lets her live. And then 2 seconds later, she kills her best friend. It's almost like, what the fuck? You're smart. She's a smart person. She's intelligent. This is a bad person. You knew that Blair, if like at the very least, if you didn't know Adina was at the end, but you knew that if you let Blair live and Blair got the opportunity, she was going to kill you. Why would you allow this person to live? I don't know. It really didn't make sense to me. Kai would have killed her without hesitation. Now, I do understand that Kai is also more of a cold-blooded killer and has been forced to make those decisions more often in his life. But I'm just like, I don't know. I hope that our girl learned her lesson from that because, what's the quote? When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Blair,
Mhm.
on multiple occasions, let you know what was up. She let you know that she was not a good person and literally would kill you if she got the opportunity. You should have just taken her out when you had the chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Blair, I hated Blair.
Yeah, the
I was
fact
like,
that she's still
no,
alive.
this bitch ain't a girl's girl. I'm not here for it. Not here for it. I'm assuming the only reason why that all happened was to progress the plot in some way that we don't know about yet. That's the only thing I can think of. It was a little bit out of character. I would agree with that she didn't end up killing Blair, but
Yeah.
I
And
really wanted her to.
I really don't like when authors do things just to progress the plot per se. If it makes sense, then that's cool, but I don't like it when they do things that don't make sense just for the sake of getting a plot point to happen. Now, I will say, I'm not saying that's why she did it. It could just
Mhm.
genuinely be that she felt like this is what Peyton would do. And Peyton is her character. She probably knows better than me. But I just know that for me, I didn't really care for that decision. And it made me be like, what the fuck, Peyton? I've been on your page this whole time. Even though I did think it was dumb when she was lying through some of this shit. But I was just like, I've been on your side this whole time until she made that decision. And literally, I couldn't even really feel the effect of Adina's death like that because the whole time I was just like, this is what you fucking get. This is what you fucking get because you let her live. Like I think I
Yeah.
even put in our story wrap, I was like, why the fuck did she let her live? And then 2 seconds later, I was like, and she killed her best friend. This is why you don't fucking let that bitch live. So I did have a really hard time getting past that. But other than that, I did really like it. I will say I did guess the ending, but that's also on me because for whatever reason, I read the last sentence of the book before I started.
What is the last
So,
sentence? I have
like,
to look up the
literally,
last sentence really
I was
quick.
like, oh, I already see where this is going. So that was my fault. 100%.
Oh, yeah, the last sentence literally is, quote, bring me Peyton Gray Enforcer. Yeah, that gives it the fuck
I
away.
literally was like, and the whole thing is, I was just trying to see how many pages the book was. And I flipped to see, and then, of course, my fucking wandering eyes,
I
I go up and I
know.
read the last sentence, and I'm like, okay. So I literally knew, I was like, okay, I already figured it out. Kit is going to end up being the king, and he's going to tell Kai that he has to do this because the only way that Kai was officially the enforcer was if Kit was king. And so I just was like, okay, I
Right.
saw where the fuck this was going, but that's my fault, you
It's
know.
okay. I learned my lesson from looking at the page count because I didn't ruin, but I saw the last sentence of Iron Flame when I
Yeah.
was looking at the page number and I was like, fuck. So the entire time I'm reading, I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? And I was like, I
Yeah.
was trying to piece it together and I was like, damn it. I feel like that instance definitely changed my reading experience. So I can't do it anymore. I just go online. I'm like, what is the page
Yeah,
count?
what's the page
Yeah,
count? Yeah, I should have known. I had way too much faith in myself. I was like, no, just look at the page. No, bitch.
no,
As
because
soon as I got there, my eyes
yes,
went to that last.
because I will say I really hope other people can relate to this, but I don't have a Kindle yet, so I read just books like straight up books. And if I'm looking at a page and there's shit going on that's like really intense, I have to cover the other page with my hand or I will look over and I'm like, oh god damn it. Now I know what's gonna happen. So
Yep.
I always have the wandering eyes. I'm always like, okay, really intense stuff's happening. Don't look, Ellie, don't look. And it's so hard for me sometimes.
Yeah, I
But
feel that.
yeah,
So, like I said, I can't put that as a slight on the book because that's my fault. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. That one thing obviously did piss me off. I would say,
yeah.
other than that, I can't think of too much. I can't think of too much that I didn't like
Right.
about it.
I'm sure once we progress more with the story, there might be some things that aren't our favorite or are our complete favorite. We'll see. I
Hmm.
am excited to get Adina's POV because one, I already know it's going to crush my soul just knowing that she fucking dies.
Mm,
I'd be so sad about that, but I am really excited to see her because I loved her character. I thought her character was cute. I love that her and Peyton had like a sisterhood that they were forced into
yeah.
and were able to take care of each other. And when Peyton was called for the trial, she went back to get Adina to be her seamstress. And yeah, love that. I really liked Adina.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too. I did really like Adina, and I was so happy when she got called
me
to the
too.
castle to help her. I
I
was like,
know.
yes, because I was so worried about her in the slums alone. And I definitely really loved that part. So that did make me sad. I am excited to get her book, but at the same time, I'm so sad about it because you already know it has a sad ending. I've read other books like that before where it's a prequel where you already know some tragic shit happened in the main series. So you're like, oh, I want to love this, but it's also leading to a very sad ending. But I'm going to eat it up. We'll probably do an episode on that as well, just to touch on our
Yeah.
feelings. But yeah, this is a great series so far. That for me, definitely one of my more liked series that I've read in a minute. So
Yeah, thank you, TikTok, so much for bringing it to our attention because I'm really excited that I read that. Okay, speaking of things that we didn't like, we do have to talk about any characters that we disliked, and then we're going to get into our favorite characters and why we love them and our favorite moments from the book after that. So, one character that we both hated, which we're supposed to hate, is the main villain of this book, which is the king. And he sucks. He sucks. I hate him. I'm just like, Kai, how did you come from him? He sucks. Even Kai fucking hates him. Kit's over here. He's trying so hard to be the good son because he's the one who's supposed to come into power, while Kai is the enforcer and he's kind of the assassin of the king. So all of Kit's life, he's been prepped to be the king. All of Kai's life, he's been prepped to be the enforcer. And Kit is very much not trying to step on his dad's toes. And I'm just like, y'all, this man sucked. He literally imposed this law, basically, where ordinaries have to leave the city. They're not allowed there. If they're there, they have literally a day to leave or they will be killed. And then he makes the enforcer, who is Kai in training, go and kill ordinaries. Ugh. But the problem is that Peyton is ordinary. Her dad was a healer. Her mom wasn't ordinary. So it's a little bit of, oh God, like enemies to lovers as fuck. The king, he's just a piece of shit. Like, he's a terrible father. He just sucks. That's all I'm going to say about him.
there's a couple characters that I can't stand in this book. Actually, more than a couple. There's 3 that I can
It's
just
actually
name
a
right off the
lot.
top of my head. So starting with Ace, can't stand him. So happy that he's dead. The fact that he almost got Jax killed, I cannot stand him. I'm so happy that he got taken out. And also just like that whole scene when Peyton has him dead to rights, but she's like, I know Kai needs to take him out because what he did to her brother, and she lets him kill
Period.
him. I'm just like, oh bro, I love that. But also she was ready to kill him. That's another reason why I don't understand why she had to struggle killing this bitch Blair. But whatever, I digress. Then we have Blair. I think I've made it very obvious. Can't fucking stand her. She's pick me as fuck, but also she doesn't know how to take a hint. Bitch, neither of these motherfuckers like you. Let it go. They don't like you. They don't like you. And why would they like you? You suck. Your personality's trash. It's in the toilet. It doesn't even matter that you're a badass. You're not even a badass. Like, I can't. She's a cheater. I hate her. Can't stand her. I really want something bad to happen to her in one of these next 2 books. I hope that Peyton gets her revenge. Honestly, Kit is the next person on my list. And we had a journey, didn't we, Kit? Because I really liked you. I was over here defending you. You were the 3rd part in the love triangle. I even felt bad for you because I was like, damn, it sucks that I know you don't end up with her because like my boy's got to win. He's that guy. He's
Yeah.
the shadow daddy of this series.
Yes.
She's got to choose Kai. You're blonde. I'm sorry. You can't be the winner.
Literally.
But everything about him, like the more she kept saying, he looks like his dad. He looks just like his dad. I was like, oh, this is not
Red
going
flags.
well. Now, I will say, Peyton did spurn his ass when she like tricked him and stole the key from him. Like that was fucked up because he really liked her. So like I feel like I can understand. I can understand why he was hurt by that because yeah, he really actually did like this girl and she really did use his ass and trick him and got a lot of people killed. Like she didn't necessarily trust the right people either because they didn't do everything the right way. So unfortunately, yeah, that was bad on Peyton, but just like I said earlier, the idea of this older brother who loves his brother, you could tell he loves his brother. They have a good relationship. But to sit back and watch your parent abuse and turn this person that you love into this weapon, for lack of a better word, and you don't say anything about it, do anything about it, speak up about it, you're going to be in charge. And then the second that you are in charge, you send him to go hunt down somebody that you know that he loves. You're a piece of shit too. I'm sorry. I don't like you. I get it. She killed your dad. Your dad sucked, okay? Your dad fucking sucked ass. Who cares? Who cares? Did anybody see the footage? I know there was a site there. I know a site saw what really went down. Did you stop to try to figure out why Peyton was so fucked up? Like, even you, Kai, you love this girl. You didn't stop to think, like, why she was so fucked up. Did anybody stop to be like, oh, wait a second, our dad is a piece of shit. Maybe he did something to deserve this. I just can't, like, Peyton, she didn't even kill Blair. She's not a heartless killer. But yes, towards the end, Kit could get these hands too. Okay. I'm a little bit irritated with Kai, but it's okay because I know that he's going to go on this journey to go find her. And I have a feeling that things are going to go back to the way that they were because I know he really loves her. But Kit, like, you have, what do they call it? Fair weather love. You only care about this person when things are going good. I can't. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, not for me. He turned into his dad the second that he got the opportunity. And again,
He
when people show you who
did.
they really are, believe them. And then finally, yes, the king, the piece of shit. Ellie said enough about him. He literally eliminated a group of people from the world, basically. He did a shitty job because they made it, but he tried. And he literally, I don't know, he raised his son, he abused his son. I can't. Ugh, ugh, ugh. When parents, it's the same thing that I was talking about in ACOTAR, where like when somebody has multiple people that they love and then they purposely pick one over the other to love more and protect more. I can't get behind that shit. I fucking hate that shit. What did Kai do? Just because he was second born, he deserves to live this life and deserves to be treated like this by you? No, I can't. It literally rubs me such the wrong way. I hate him. The way he flipped on Peyton, I saw it coming, but dude, you ain't it. You're shit. I'm happy he's dead. Literally quite happy he's dead. That was the one thing going into it that I was like, at least I know this motherfucker dies. Like every time he was talking, I was like, at
Period.
least I know he ain't king in the end because I can't stand him. So yeah,
Yeah.
bad
Dude,
character.
and
Hated him.
also like to mention that he made Kai go kill Peyton's dad when he was what,
14.
13 or 14?
Mm-hmm.
That was his first kill. Like, I don't even think Kai knows that was her dad because we get his POV from that moment. I don't think he knows. And
Yeah.
I will say, I was really proud of myself because there was one night me and Lauren were talking about the book before we finished it. We were both like halfway through, and I was like, wait, what if Kai is the one who killed Peyton's dad? And we were just like, wait, it would make sense. And it did. It actually came true. I was like, yes, I was right. But it sucks because that's really shitty. And I think whenever they both find that out, it probably will cause some tension between them.
Mm-hmm.
But Kai didn't really have a choice. Also, she did kill his dad too. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit even in that kind of way. But
Nah.
I guess we'll see what happens. I don't
But
know.
but also think about this. The king knew when he first met Peyton
Right.
and they were sitting at the
He
table and
knew.
he was talking to her about
I
her dad.
know.
He knew.
Ah!
Piece of shit,
He's
dude.
so gross. And he
Piece
knew
of
the whole
shit.
time who she was, that she had no powers. He was basically just playing with her along the way because he wanted
Mm-hmm.
her to die. But didn't work out, bitch, because you died.
Joke's on you. But he did fuck her up though. Him
He
carving the
did.
O in her. Oh, I can't.
Oh my god.
He's such a piece of shit, dude. I'm actually so excited for the next book. Yeah. You know what? This was a great book. I gave it a 4.5. It was a great book. It's not like it was a bad book,
Yeah.
but it
That's a
was
good
just
that's a
definitely, it
good
was a good
rating.
book. Yeah.
This is a book that I would reread again. And that's
Yeah. Oh,
saying
yeah.
a lot. It's not like a one-time book. I want to reread this honestly before the second book even comes out just because I liked it so much.
If I don't reread it, I probably will listen to the audiobook. And by the way, we forgot to touch on this earlier, but the book is a dual POV, which both of us definitely ate up. And the audiobook,
Mhm.
the voice actors for both parts, they do such a good job. So it's
Really good
definitely
job.
one that if you like audiobooks, I highly recommend the audiobook. And yeah, it's one I will definitely re-listen to before the next book comes out just because I genuinely enjoyed it, and they both did such a good job with their performances.
Period. Okay. Now let's get into our favorite characters and moment. All right. My favorite characters, gonna be basic, but Kai and Peyton, my favorite characters. I did really like Adina too, okay, but just knowing that she's dead right now, I'm like, well, maybe there's something in this world that makes her come back to life. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing.
Mm, I hope
Probably
not.
not, but
I hope
I'm
not.
getting There's a lot of other authors that we read that like to do that constantly.
Please let somebody who's dead just stay dead. It's sad. It was sad. I already
I
shed my
do,
tears for her.
yeah, I do like the high stakes of books, so I sounds bad, but I do hope that she just stays dead just because I hate when characters come back a lot all the time. But
Mhm.
yeah, Kai and Peyton. I loved Peyton. I thought the whole premise of the book of being like, even if you're powerless, you can be extremely powerful was super awesome. She is a baddie. I love the moment of her going to the ball where everyone's supposed to wear green and she shows up in fucking silver because she's known as a silver savior. And Adina made her that dress. She walked in, like everyone looking at her, and she's just like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah. She wears a different color every time, and it's
Yeah.
never green, and
Yeah, she's like, fuck this place. Fuck your king. He's a piece of shit. Yeah. Like, good for you, sis. Good for you. And she
mhm.
looks good doing it. I love the way that she's described too. She has long silver hair. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. I like that. And I really like Kai. I love the way he talks. I'm sorry. The shit that he says, I'm just like,
Bro, his game is, like, on 12. Like, Kai I'm like, "How old are you again?" He is spitting, bro. Everything he says to this girl, I'm like, "Bro, how is she not already in your arms?" Because even the things that he'll say
like
when it's just his point of view in his own head, I'll just like, oh my God, where is this man in real life? Can I get a grown ass man who thinks
oh
and
my
talks
God.
about me like this? I love
I
him.
just to read a few quotes from this book. I'm just like, bro, kind of man talk like that to me, like IRL. Okay, literally, he says shit like, I never thought about what my favorite color was before. It never seemed important. Not until I looked into a pair of ocean blue eyes and realized that perhaps drowning was a beautiful thing.
Stop it.
When he says
Shut
shit
the
like,
fuck up.
if I am to be her enemy, I want it to be because she loathes herself for wanting me.
Please, please feed it to me. Give it to me. I love
Oh
this.
my
I
god,
love
I
it.
can't. I'm sorry. It's just one of these quotes literally just says, "I'm gonna ask again, who did this to you?" That's all you need to know about this book. Okay.
If a who did this to you does not send your heart a fluttering, we can't be friends. I'm
It,
sorry.
it literally. Oh my god, it's one of my favorite things ever that happens in a book. That is the reason why I love Edward Cullen so much from
Yeah.
Twilight.
It's just something about it.
It
Oh,
is.
just looking her in her eyes and being like, who did this to you? Like, I will end them. Oh, I, eat that shit up. I
Anyway,
can't. I'm actually low key. I'll talk about it when we get to our predictions for the next book, but I need more of their banter. I need him to still be like on 10 with his talking to her. I need more of it. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm actually super curious to see in Adina's book and Powerful to see another man being the main male character and seeing if I like it as
yo,
much because Kai, let me tell you, Kai, he was doing it.
it
If I was
was.
Peyton, I'd have been all over that. Been all over it without a question. The fact that she took so long. So I know I love a slow burn too, but I was just like, there's no way. There's no fucking way that after the first trial, I wouldn't have just been like, we should be together.
Yeah, no, the second I saw him would have been like,
Yeah. Obviously, okay, attraction is one thing. Like, he's attractive, she's attractive. Like, they're both very attractive people. So, duh, they look good together. But, like, the minute he started talking to me like that, because we got to see like a sweet like side of him earlier on, like more than Peyton did. We know what he really does
right.
when he won't kill children, which is like the bars on the floor, but he doesn't
Oh my
have another
god.
choice.
I will say I was driving when I listened to that scene and I literally was like, if he kills this family and their kid, I think I might not finish this book. But he didn't, so
Yeah.
we're good.
I
It worked
didn't
out
for
worked
a
out well.
second. I didn't for a second think he was going.
I'm glad he did it because at first the book tells you that he's going to do it, but then you
Yeah.
learn that he's actually helping them escape, which I was like, oh, thank God, because I don't know if I could like this man after this.
And I think
But
that
we're
that was
good. He
why
has morals.
I think that's why I knew it wasn't because I was like, there's no way that she's going to write a main character who's supposed to be
Yeah,
the love
that would
interest
be
who's
really
going to do
bad.
something like this. That's what makes them morally gray.
Yeah. His dad wanted to do that, but he didn't because he's better than him.
Exactly. That's
Period.
why we hate his dad, but we love him. Even though, like I
Yeah.
said, he has killed people. He is morally gray, not like a morally righteous dude, but he has a bar, okay? No matter how low that bar is, he's
But
got
it's there.
standards.
It can be
They're
raised.
there. Exactly. Peyton's gonna turn him into a better person. But which you
But also,
can't
like,
change, be a man, don't try to turn
Peyton is
better people,
Peyton's
but
superly morally great too, though. So it's perfect.
she is, but I would say she's more morally righteous than he is for sure. What makes you say she's
She
morally
just,
gray?
like just because, like, she would steal from people and she lied to Kit and flirted with him just to get the keys from him and stuff, like, to me, that's morally gray. I do think that she's like, Kai obviously kills people, but at the same time, Kai didn't really have a choice almost if he wanted to be this fucking person. She
Mm,
didn't either at the same time. She
yeah.
doesn't have the choice of stealing. She literally had to in order to survive and shit. But the
Yeah.
actual act of doing all this stuff isn't good. That's why I would
Yeah.
say she's she doesn't have the best track run, but that's why I like her so much because
Mhm.
I like that she's not morally amazing. I love
Right.
complex characters like that. So I was like, okay,
I
like
guess I get that. I don't the fact that I don't know, you're right. In my mind, she had to do that to survive. It wasn't really a choice. I don't know, but every opportunity she's given, she usually does the right thing, minus the kid situation. But that was also manipulation. I don't know, but she did make a choice. So you're right. I guess you could say morally gray. She's definitely not as questionable as Kai, in my opinion. But Kai was also raised and forced to do those things. So there is a certain allowance for both of them. But yeah,
yeah,
for me, favorite characters, it's pretty much the same. Kai, Peyton. I did for me, without a doubt, Kai is my favorite character. I do really like Peyton. If you wanted me to pick a female, I would say Peyton. I also really liked Kai's cousin, who was the shapeshifter. God, her name is eluding me right now, but I did really like her too. But yeah, Peyton is, I mean, to me, there hasn't been another person introduced who we even got to see enough of to have
right.
another opinion. This book is very much about Kai and Peyton. They're the two POVs, so of course it's going to lean towards them. But yeah, Kai, of the two of them, I love him. Morally gray, smooth as a fuck. Okay.
Literally
Pro-
so smooth.
protective. Oh, the minute anybody hurts Peyton, puts her in danger, he is on it. Who did this to you? You know what I mean? Possessive.
Oh
She's
my
not
god, I
even mine,
love
but she's
him.
mine. Oh,
Do you remember the
I love Kai.
scene when they're at one of the balls and she steps away because she's having a panic attack and he comes and helps her? I was like, I'm
Yes.
obsessed with him. He
Yes.
tells her to breathe and he takes off her corset to help her breathe. But
Hmm.
anyway, he did stuff like that. He gets her to calm down. I'm like, this man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's a
Ah,
dream. He's a dream. In my mind, he's 29. I'm giving these people 10 years plus their age.
how
I'm
old
like,
are they
I
again?
don't even want to think about it. He's 19. Yeah, she's like probably
They're
17 or
29.
18. Yeah, in my mind,
They're
they're
29.
29. They're
They're
29.
29.
Add 10 years because I can't with the young age thing, but it makes sense. The
Yeah,
author's 20. But
right. She's so young too.
in my mind, I'm like, he's older. But yes, he's a man in my mind. And yes,
Yes.
I love him. And yeah, the whole scene where they spar each other during training, that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole book. They have the same power level. They're both just on equal footing. And I love that. I love when a female character can go toe to toe with the partner and just the banter, the back and forth. It's not just talk because I can back it up. Like Peyton's a badass in her own right. She saves Kai's life in the beginning. That's how she even ends up in the tournament. And yeah, just so good. Tension,
Ugh,
the
loved
banter,
it.
the not spice, but I feel like there was spice.
It didn't even honestly, like, it didn't even fucking need, like, the actual
It did
like,
not.
if there was ever an actual scene, it doesn't even need it because this shit, I was just like, I don't even know. I have like, no words for how good the fucking banter is. Like, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm so sorry, but it's so good.
It's
It's so
so
good.
good. It's so good. So 100% loved it. Don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I already touched on the things I didn't like about it, but it was very minuscule compared to
Mhm.
a 400 plus page book. And honestly, who knows? Like, there could be a reason for that. So going forward, I could be like, oh, that's why that went down like that or whatever. But yeah, I did enjoy this one. Kai is that guy. I'm going to get a shirt that
Kai is
says
that guy.
that. Kai is
Kai
that
is that
guy.
guy.
Anyways, yes, can't wait to see more of them. And speaking of seeing more of them, do you have any predictions for what we think we'll see going forward in the trilogy? At least in the next book.
Okay, so we know the next book is going to be about Kai and Peyton again. I think in the next book, it's going to be mostly a struggle for Kai to figure out what he is going to do because his brother is telling him to go find Peyton, but he's in love with Peyton. So we're left with Peyton running off to try to escape, which Kai gives her time to escape. Cool, love that. But Kit gives him the orders like you have to go fucking find
Mhm.
her, and so he's just fuck. And I think he's gonna have a little bit of a hard time with that and trying to figure out what to do. And I think Kit is going to probably have a villain arc. I do hope that he comes back from it though, because from book one, at least the first half of the book, it does seem like Kit has morals and he actually wants to learn why the ordinaries and the people living in the slump are having such a hard time. He even goes to the slums to get more of a feel for it. It's okay. I know he has a good part in him. I just think that his anger and grief from his father being killed is really going to overtake him. And the power that he now has isn't going to be good for him. I do hope he comes around. We'll see. And I think Peyton and Kai are just going to end up being together, of course. But I am curious about the Blair thing now that we mentioned it. I'm like, shut up. What if Blair ends up like marrying Kit? Because we know that she had her eyes on both of them because she wants power too. And I feel like Kit now is going to be like, I don't like Peyton anymore. So whatever. Maybe I'll go with Blair. I would die if Blair became in power. Anyway, that's all I have.
Yeah. So, couple of things on that. I do see Blair, I do see that potentially happening, but I don't see it happening until the third book, if I'm being 100% honest. I feel like this next book is going to be okay. Peyton is going to end up amongst ordinaries, and Kai is going to come find her. And Kai is going to realize that everything he's been taught his entire life is a lie. He's going to come over to Peyton's side and literally help the ordinaries try to end up like fighting back against the kingdom. Kit is too far up his daddy's ass in order to realize that what he's doing is wrong. I think that if Kit does come around, it won't be until maybe like the end of the third book when Kai somehow and him have to face off. I 100% see that happening. Kai and Kit
Yeah.
end up having to get into it. Kai's mom is a question mark because she did truly love the king and she's powerful in her own right, and I'm very interested to learn more about her and whose side she's going to take in this because this is going to end up being brother versus brother in my mind. Other than that, I don't 100% like I don't have a lot of other very specific things. I hope that Adina is dead for real. I hate saying that because it's very sad and it was a very sad moment, but I also just don't want anything like I need Peyton to go on in spite of her loss, not, oh, try to be finding a way to bring her back. I'm also thinking that there are some powers we don't even know about yet that exist in this world. Very interested in seeing what other abilities are out there and what other people can do. Maybe that, I don't know, maybe that will come back to play. I'm assuming, like I said, the rebels are going to end up having to go against the crown. I see Blair being a big part of that because I feel like if she doesn't at least end up with Kit, she's going to be fighting in Kit's army, if not maybe even the general of his army, because we know that her father is like a general of Kit's father's army. So yeah, I definitely see a lot of the same characters being involved. And I definitely think it will end up being where Kai gets flipped to Peyton's side once he realizes the truth, because it is just the right side. There isn't, in my mind, there's no question about that. And Kai really is a good person, whereas Kit, I feel like, was brainwashed a little bit too much to really be able to
Yeah.
that as easily. So I think if that does happen, it won't be until the last book. But ultimately, I see in the end, I see something happening to Kit, and I see Kai and Peyton becoming the rulers of the new kingdom, ruling as a non-ordinary and an ordinary person together. Calling it.
Period. You heard it here.
3 years from now, when the last book gets released and they end up on the throne, just remember, I said that they were going to end up ruling the kingdom, both ordinaries and extraordinaries together. And they're going to be like the silver black. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on. There was something, because I remember talking about it in the Storygraph thing, where they kept talking about like storms and
Well, his eyes are storm colored.
like storm colored, and his mom has like electric
Mhm.
powers. I don't know if that means
Hmm.
anything. I just feel like, I don't
Do
know. I feel
we
like there was something there.
do you think there's I don't know how I feel about this. Do you think there's any way that Peyton might have powers?
Hmm. That was one of my first
Okay.
predictions.
I
In the
know.
story graph, I said
I
that, like, I
I'm
literally
over
think
here,
she has
what if she
powers.
actually is a psychic and she just doesn't she thinks it's like her dad's training, but it actually is that she's fucking psychic. Because I understand, like, in the book when she's predicting stuff, I understand her kind of using context clues, but I'm like, some of them are really specified. So I'm like,
Mm.
what if she actually isn't an ordinary? I don't know. I want her to be ordinary because I feel like it's cool to have a female main character that doesn't really have powers and she's still like, super powerful as bitch.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see her having powers, but I don't think it will be psychic. I think she's one of two things. She's either ordinary or she's extremely fucking powerful. And her father, who was this medical person who worked on people with powers, did something to
Hmm.
stifle her powers when she was younger.
She's a healer.
Because he was a healer. And I'm thinking
Hmm.
maybe he did something to stifle her powers, like maybe using a silencer's blood or something like that to make it so her powers like didn't come out yet. And she's gonna find out that she has them. But that is the only way that I can see. I don't think she's going to end up just being a psychic. I think that if she does end up being not powerless, she's going to end up being extremely powerful because Kai is also extremely powerful. There's not a lot of people that can do what he can
Right.
do. I'm over here being the author. I'm like, wouldn't it be crazy if the way that they find out that she has powers is Kai is able to utilize her power one day, like in a dire situation or something like that?
Oh my
And then
god.
he all of a sudden pulls this power from her. And it's like, where the fuck did that come from? And it came from Peyton. Her hair being silver, the references to storms. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She's like the only person in this world with silver hair. Oh, that's another thing I do love about this book that we didn't touch on. We're getting close to the end, so I don't want to go about it too far. But all the people look so cool when they're describing the people in the slums or whatever. Everybody has colored hair. Everybody is different. They don't just look like we would be seeing walking down the street where most people are status quo, like normal or whatever.
Basic.
It's like, yeah,
I'll
I
say
didn't want
it.
to say that, but it's okay. I'm basic as fuck. It's fine. So it's everybody's got like orange hair, pink hair, silver hair. Like everybody looks real different, and
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely a book written by someone, Gen V or whatever.
yeah, well, I'm here for it.
Or
But
Gen I don't know what generation, but
Gen
y'all know.
Alpha,
Y'all know.
Gen Alpha. I think
Oh
she's
my
probably Gen
god.
Z. I don't fucking know. But
Me either.
yeah, guys. So if you didn't know, we really enjoyed this book. We highly recommend it. We said it earlier, but if you're still with us and you have any
Yes.
questions, honestly, if you're still with us at this point, hopefully you've read the book because if not, we just ruined the whole thing for
If
you.
still read it though. It's good.
But
We didn't talk about everything, okay?
yeah, exactly. Reread it, come back and touch on this before the new book comes out. We hope you guys will be checking out Powerful. We definitely will. And we will be doing another episode on it as well as the release when the new book comes out in July. And we couldn't be more excited for it. That being said, we hope that you guys enjoyed today's bonus episode on Powerless. Please email or DM us any other romantasy books or series that you would like us to cover. Please make sure to check out our other episodes on the Massverse if you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet and it's something that you love. We have some great coverage on the different series over there, and we will have more to come. Finally, again, if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening, please review and rate the pod. And either way, share us with your bookish friends and give us a follow over on our Instagram and TikTok. We have a ton of fun over there, a ton of different content, mostly about the Masters right now, but we will be putting out different content on different romantasy series as well. And we're keeping our eyes out for other romantasy news like the new Empyrean announcement, the Powerful announcement. So definitely follow us over there to keep up to date with all the stuff going on in the bookish community. And that being said, like always, we want to leave you guys with a quote. So for my girls out there, The strongest weapon a woman has at her disposal is that she is often underestimated. All right, guys.
Period.
Bye.
Bye.